Hey there, and welcome to your Tuesday Weather Impact Show. I'm meteorologist Justin Gehrts.
And I'm meteorologist Aaron White, and we had a lot of rain last night.
We did.
Watching all those storms rolling in, I was kind of keeping an eye on that line as it was moving out of Indiana because at one point there were so many severe thunderstorm warnings on it. There were even a few tornado warnings on it in Indiana, and then as it moved into Ohio, it was still strong, but then it really started to kind of fizzle out pretty quick.
Yeah, we had all that, exactly, all that steady rain that was out ahead of it that gave us a pretty wet evening. I got a little walk in, I was going to take a longer one, and it started to sprinkle. I'm like, I got my steps in. I had 8,000 already. I'm like, I'm fine. So, I mean, it was light enough I wouldn't have melted, but it was one of those like, okay, here we go. And then I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning because of the wind behind the rain had really kicked in, lasted, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, and then subsided once again. But yeah, a lot of places in the Columbus area got around an inch of rain last night.
Just some good amounts, and I know some of those winds were gusting up 40, 50 miles per hour behind the thunderstorms, and even out ahead of the storms. There was a lot of gusty winds.
For sure. Columbus officially at CMH picking up 0.99, we'll just call it an inch. Up at OSU Airport, 9/10 of an inch. Grove City, a little over an inch. And yeah, some spots a little bit less, out towards Zanesville, about a 1/4 inch. But certainly was a situation that, yeah, there were some pretty decent rainfall totals, and we have some more coming for Wednesday morning. In fact, we have a 10 weather impact alert for Wednesday morning. The reason for it, not severe weather, not huge downpours, but because, as anybody who has driven during a commute with rain in Columbus knows, it slows things down quite a bit. So we want to give you just the extra heads up that you need to plan for some extra time coming up on Wednesday morning. There is going to be, in the typical trouble spot, some of the ponding of water on the roads as well. So when you're out, of course, again, leave extra time, but also leave extra space between you and other vehicles. I know that this seems like a common sense thing, but we often see wrecks during rainy weather, so that stopping distance, that's increased anytime we have the wet pavement, especially when there's enough that you can actually get some of the water to collect on the pavement. Now, things are quiet right now. We have a mainly clear sky beginning to work into the area. This area of thunderstorms out toward Missouri, that's the disturbance that comes our direction later tonight into tomorrow. It'll be sliding up the Ohio Valley, and with it comes our next round of rain. This afternoon, though, we have dry weather. A lot of sunshine is breaking through. It is going to be a very nice end to our day here. Here's 6 o'clock this evening, still plenty of sunshine. We'll have temperatures in the 70s this afternoon. It's also going to be the warmest day by far we have in the foreseeable future. You can say goodbye to 70s for a while, I'm afraid to say. Now, coming up tonight, those clouds quickly increase once again. There could be another little wing of moisture as early as 3 or 4 in the morning. I think most of the rain is going to get going as we get closer toward the morning drive, and as the commute continues, we should see more and more rain build into the area. Here's 9 a.m. as we see a lot of shower and maybe even a few thunderstorm activity around central Ohio. By lunchtime, a lot of that's going to be moving off toward the east. Could there be a few lingering showers in the afternoon? Yes, but the majority of the activity is in the morning hours. And even when we don't have any rain in the afternoon or evening, it's still going to be pretty cloudy out there. Now, behind this system, we will see some clearing going into Thursday, then some more fair weather clouds bubble up in the afternoon. It's also going to be much cooler starting tomorrow as well. We'll talk about that in just a moment. As far as the rainfall amounts go, looks like generally speaking, another 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch will be pretty likely. There are some signs that there could be a couple of localized bands that push close to an inch if everything comes together just right. But those would be pretty few and far between. A lot of us, again, are going to be in that general range of 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch, the way it's looking at this point. Again, we are seeing the clearing try to work into the area. More blue sky now than we had earlier today. So we'll call it partly to mostly sunny for the afternoon, and we've already risen to 71 degrees in Columbus as of 2 p.m. You'll notice, though, this little bit of warmer weather, it's pretty narrow. Behind it, we have a cold front that's actually swept through the area now, and then we have those 50s and 60s off to our west. Those are the temperatures that we have coming up over the coming days. So, above average today, 75 is 7 degrees above normal. Tomorrow, 63 puts us a bit below average. And check out Friday and Saturday. Highs likely only in the mid-50s would put us about 15 degrees below normal. I'm afraid to say, too, that the cool down doesn't end there. In fact, as we look into the first to second week of May, it looks like below average temperatures are going to be likely. In fact, this outlook takes us all the way through May 11th. And there you see, yeah, below normal temperatures are going to be pretty likely. Now, that doesn't mean cold all the time. We're not going to be seeing 50s that entire duration. But it is going to, generally speaking, be short of where we typically would be as we get into the first third of May. Partial clearing this afternoon. 75 is your high with a west-southwest wind of 10 to 20, so a little breezy at times. Sunset this evening is at 8:23. Now, if you're thinking about heading out to the Clippers game, we have a homestand once again starting up tonight. First pitch is at 6:15, and we should have a very nice evening. 74 degrees for that first pitch, 72 degrees at the 7th inning, and as you're heading home, back in the upper 60s with a mostly clear sky. All right, here's that 7-day forecast. Again, we'll have that 10 weather impact alert for tomorrow morning. Morning drive is going to be slower than usual in quite a few spots. We'll see highs around 63, 59 on Thursday with a mostly sunny sky, 56 on Friday, partial sunshine. Off chance of a shower probably to our south that day. We'll keep an eye on that. May have to introduce a low chance of a shower, but it's looking more likely to be dry than anything. Saturday, partly sunny and 55, Sunday 62. Notice those morning lows Saturday and Sunday in the upper 30s. That does mean some patchy frost is a possibility, especially north of Columbus in the rural areas. Next Monday, back up to 68. Looks like we'll have a little rise in temperatures early next week, but then after Election Day, I do expect another little bout of cool air to work back into the area and send us back a little bit cooler once again. So, get used to the more April-feeling temperatures in May than anything.
I was going to say, what are the, talk about those temperatures in the 50s, upper 30s. Not feeling so tropical out there like we've had, with the 70s and 80s recently. I looked back, we actually have had 11 days at or above 80 already.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot.
A pretty good stretch. And, we'll get more, of course, but not for at least the next 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, and I was just looking ahead towards some things to take care of later this week as April wraps up. And the month to date so far, this is the warmest April on record through the 27th. We'll see if we can get officially the warmest April on record. If we don't, it's going to be darn close.
Yeah.
And you mentioned with all the warm temperature we've had, it really has made a big difference. In fact, our average high so far this month is 2 degrees above the second place.
Okay.
So we have been very
close,
warm, yeah, for sure. So I think we'll probably get that at least for the high temperature record. So we'll see how things go over the next couple of days.
Yeah, and just of course watching those rain chances and storm chances coming in here as we head into late tonight and tomorrow. But turning from our forecast to the severe weather that struck across the nation the last night as violent storms tore across parts of the central U.S. Monday night.
Yeah, this is just the latest part of a deadly multi-day severe weather outbreak that reached a destructive peak. Reed Binion reports.
He texted me, he was like, "Is this your house?" And I was like, "Yeah, that is. Are you messing with me?" And he's like, "No."
A homeowner in Wisconsin, one of many in the upper Midwest dealing with damage after severe weather, including high winds, hit the central U.S. on Monday.
I got a little teary-eyed. This is my first home, first time homeowner. And it hit me because I'm like, that's a lot of damage.
High winds also caused severe damage in neighboring Michigan. In Kalamazoo, crews had to rescue some residents who got trapped in their homes by downed trees. Elsewhere in the state, a man was killed by a falling tree in Kent County. Parts of the central U.S. also faced heavy rain, including parts of Missouri. In Kansas City, the downpour led to swollen creeks and flooded roadways. The damaging weather tearing across the central U.S. Monday came after days of severe weather already tore a destructive path across parts of the plains and south, producing more than 50 tornado reports since Thursday. That included twisters in Oklahoma as well as deadly tornadoes in North Texas, including an EF2 tornado near Runaway Bay, northwest of Dallas. At least 2 people were killed and homes and infrastructure were damaged. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And the wild weather doesn't stop there with all the severe weather, the flooding that's been going on. Record-breaking wildfires are still burning in southern Georgia into a second week now, despite little rain overnight.
Yeah, CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry is in Waynesville, Georgia, with the latest efforts to try to contain the blaze.
New video shows the scale and scope of the devastation in South Georgia as fires now burn into a second week. This one near the town of Waynesville doubled in size over the weekend, extending a trail of misery and destruction.
That was my house.
This is what's left of David and Christina Carter's home.
It was devastating.
It's like numb at first because you're like, this is a joke, right? And it's like, no, this was my house for 10 years.
Were y'all able to save anything? Or?
Nothing.
The Carter's home, among at least 120 so far, gone. Powerful winds and extreme drought are fueling these 2 major fires. South Georgia is under extreme or exceptional drought. Waynesville has received just a half inch of rain this month, less than 1/8 of its normal rainfall.
We looked at all the records going back historically with the state. We believe that these two fires have created the most lost homes ever in the history of our state.
The Carters say they were fortunate to have insurance. Much can be replaced. And yet, despite grabbing documents and other essentials as they fled,
like the rush of getting everything, we left our wedding album. We've been married 25 years. There's stuff that we'll never get back.
The Carters say they will rebuild. As for the battle ahead, those out-of-state firefighters, more accustomed to dealing with those dry, windy, and hot conditions, say that they will be a welcomed sight of relief for those firefighters here on the ground, as officials say that they are more accustomed to dealing with structural fires as opposed to wildfires. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Waynesville, Georgia.
And of course, part of the reason for all the fires this season has been the widespread drought being felt across numerous parts of the country, especially there in southeast Georgia and even parts of Florida.
Yeah, they've been dealing with it for a while, and not just the southeast, too. In Arkansas, farmers face ongoing challenges with drought and low commodity prices affecting local economies and agricultural stability. Maya Ellison has a report on that.
Around this time of year, farmers have their hands full as planting season typically ramps up this month. But dry conditions have left many in a rough patch.
Low commodity prices, high input cost, and they've been seeing that for the last few years.
Tyler Roxner with the Farm Bureau says it's a widespread issue, especially for row crop farmers who focus on staples like rice and even soybeans. He says they're feeling the squeeze the most right now.
Because of all of this that's happening, on estimate, how much money are farmers losing?
I think it was somewhere around it was a little bit over $200 an acre.
Roxton tells me these challenges won't always hit your wallet right away. Larger corporations often absorb the initial blow of higher production cost, but that doesn't mean the impact won't trickle down into other areas. Restaurants like the Root Cafe rely on local produce and smaller farms for their supply.
We obviously like to support the farmers, put that money back into the local economy, and it's just fresher, better food.
Head chef Jonathan Arrington manages the inventory here. He says while dry conditions haven't forced a menu change just yet, he's keeping a close eye on his suppliers.
If our producers need to raise their prices, we will pay to buy from them.
One of those producers is Barnhill Orchards. Strawberries, watermelons, tomatoes. Yeah, they grow it all. But farmer Rex Barnhill says the lack of rain is changing the math of his daily operation.
The reality is so much moisture has gone by the board already. We're not going to catch up.
That means more irrigation, going the extra mile, and spending more money to keep crops alive.
All you can do is hope that it may rain and give you a little bit more.
And switching now to some outer space news and our plans to return to the moon, which we found another local connection to with an Ohio State graduate who is actually reaching for the stars.
Yeah, very cool. Meteorologist Meredith Garfalo talks with him about his career, how his career is now focusing on lunar exploration.
You're actually in Ohio, and you have some roots that are based here in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, I'm from Northeast Ohio. I went to the Ohio State University for my undergraduate. And Ohio is just a great place to grow up. There obviously an incredible heritage in aviation and aerospace, but great training at Ohio State. And the whole industrial background of Ohio, it all kind of comes together to be a great place to grow up and go off and do these sorts of things.
So what was it that made you want to go into space exploration?
My parents bought me a little model rocket in 5th grade, and I launched that, and it just was very shocking to me, and I think it triggered something in my mind. And we also went to the Air Force Museum in Dayton at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and I saw an airplane called an XB-70 Valkyrie, a bomber from the 1960s, and it was unlike anything in my little farm boy experience in Northeast Ohio I'd ever seen, and it just triggered something in me think, wow, there's really something bigger going on in this world. And I think that planted the seed.
And you can catch more of that interview on 10 TV Plus. Finally today, let's check out some of this new video in the 10 Weather Impact Show. First up, sticking with space, preparations are underway for the Artemis 3 mission in 2027. The mission will launch a crew on a test flight to rendezvous with lunar landers from SpaceX and Blue Origin.
At the Kennedy Space Center Tuesday, the largest rocket section measuring about 212 feet in length, so pretty big, containing the liquid hydrogen tank, liquid oxygen tank, and other parts, was moved to an assembly building where it will be joined with other parts. This video here is a time lapse of the rocket section being moved into the building where it will eventually be assembled.
That's about 2/3 the length of a football field.
Yeah, just imagine just like witnessing that just like going by. It's like that's a lot.
Also, seeing that building in person is wild. Just how, I mean, you can see it from so far away, and then when you're actually there, it's like, this is huge.
Yeah, well, moving that whole thing in there too.
Well, and remember, the length of that thing was 200 some feet.
Yeah.
And look how tall the garage was compared. I mean, just massive. All right, finally, a rare split color lobster was found off Cape Cod more than a week ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, right. I see these occasionally, but they are pretty rare. Now, according to a Wellfleet Shellfish Company social media post, the lobster is being spared and being donated to Woods Hole Science Aquarium, where it will eventually be on display.
Yeah, and the post says that the lobster is currently being cared for by the team at the Marine Biological Laboratory of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, in Woods Hole, Massachusetts. While the aquarium undergoes renovations, marine officials say split lobsters are extremely rare. Their coloring is caused by unique genetic variations. So pretty cool sight to see there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's always such a stark contrast between the two sides that I'm sure when they see those, they're like, oh my gosh, like, okay, this is a big deal, because they do not come up very often. But yeah, very easy to spot. And that lobster is just kind of
doing its thing.
Yeah, right. Just being a lobster, blissfully unaware of its very unique situation and how it is not meeting the boiling pot.
Yeah, right. And it's good that they're taking care of it, and just gonna be on display. I guess people can go check it out, I'm sure, at some point.
Yeah, no, that's cool that they're going to be having that on display. I mean, it is an unusual thing to get to see something like that. I mean, aquariums are fun to begin with, but then when you have a unique feature such as that one, it's like, oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, and I will say overall, I talk about our forecast. At least we are talk about some quieter weather. I feel like we've, of course, we just had on the show, we've had so much severe weather across parts of the country, and now with this big cool down, not just us here, I feel like that's also going to lead to some less severe weather across a good portion of the country. Maybe some more severe weather in the far south where it's a bit warmer, but at least we're going to be dodging that for a while.
Yeah, the overall pattern that's kept us fairly warm is what has helped make it be so active in the plains and Midwest. So with that reversing now, they're in a more northwesterly pattern that isn't as hospitable for severe weather, which is, great to see them getting a reprieve coming up. And unfortunately, it brings us some cool temperatures. But you know what? If that's what we have going on, and other places have less bad weather, you know what? I think we can certainly take that.
Yeah, well, hopefully this cool down where we get those highs in the 50s, kind of pushing that the overall track of the system maybe a little bit further south, helping to bring maybe some more rain to parts of Georgia, the southeast, Florida. And normally this is the time of year where they start to get more of that tropical moisture, and the sea breeze kind of kicks in, leading to some more thunderstorms. But so far, I mean, the drought conditions in Florida and Georgia really are, extreme to exceptional, like the highest tier that you can get with those drought conditions.
Yeah, for sure, and just remarkable to see that wildfire video periodically coming in. So, I mean, you see wildfire video like that and you think, oh, it's got to be California or something.
Right,
but
the
fact that it's in the southeast is just, it's still, me knowing it and knowing that's going on still just messes with my head, because it's like, it doesn't seem like a place that should be experiencing that.
Exactly. And I mean, so far California's been doing pretty well, and they'll likely get some more rain in their forecast. We have some rain in our forecast here as we head through this tonight into tomorrow. Coming up later on this afternoon, Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer will be in to give us the latest forecast on that rain and, of course, the big cool down here later on in the week. So that'll do it for us here today. You can catch more news weather online, as always, at 10tv.com.